Hello, we're here with Dennis Mozzer, and he is from the Bikeways Committee, the Harwich Bikeways Committee. I had the pleasure of attending a Bikeways Committee meeting a couple of weeks ago and met Dennis, and he agreed to come and talk with us a little bit about what the Bikeways Committee does. And I think I'd like to start by asking you a little bit about how it actually began. If you could tell us a bit of the history, that would be great.
Okay. The Bikeways Committee has come and gone a few times. It's kind of disappeared. When I joined, it was about 2 years old. I've been on it for 7 years. The involvement was with the Trails Committee and the Bike Committee. They were, the president or the chairman was on both. When he left, we became more independent from the Trails Committee. In 1994, there was a vision to have the OCRT, the Old Colony Rail Trail, developed into a bike trail. And the property is owned by the town of Harwich. It's 87.5 feet wide. And right now, we're only taking about 10 feet of that. In '94, they talked about putting a rotary in at Route 39 and the bike trail to slow down the bike traffic, so when they crossed 39, they would be on foot. Last year, 2 years ago, we put in signaling lights at that intersection. And this past year, we put in signaling lights on Queen Anne on the CCRT. The OCRT was officially opened in 1999. And next to beaches, biking is probably the most popular thing to do on the Cape. And last week was Memorial Day, or last weekend, and they were on the bike trail quite a bit. I saw quite a few people. So.
Well, it is certainly a popular thing to do, and it sounds as if the Bikeways Committee has had quite an impact, actually, on the usability of the trails. And with those improvements that you cite, it sounds like you've done quite a bit.
Well, we've tried to tell the Highway Department, Lynn Cooper, who's been very kind to us, when it needs mowing or the sand is over the road, or quite often we get roots from the trees, because it is through a forested area, a lot of it, and they have to be repaired. And we don't have any budget whatsoever, but the Highway Department takes care of all the needs that we have.
So you're alerting them to everything that needs to be done, which is actually a very important role.
Yes, yes,
right.
and Link's very good with coming to help us do maintenance.
That's excellent. There's a lot of collaboration and cooperation in this town, I find, in general. And
yes.
That's an example of it. Wonderful. So you've been on it for 7 years, you say?
Yeah.
And how many people are on the committee currently?
We have, currently there are 7 people. I'll be retiring at the end of June. We have one person that will be taking my place. And I believe we have an opening for another individual.
So what would someone need to do if they were interested in joining your committee? What would you recommend for how they should proceed?
Well, the first thing is I would suggest that they attend one of the meetings, which we have on the 3rd Wednesday of the month.
Okay.
Right here in the community center at 4 o'clock. It usually runs an hour to 2 hours, depending upon what the business is that we have, and see if it's something that they're interested in.
So they can just attend without informing you ahead of time?
Oh yeah,
just show up?
It's open to the public.
3rd
yes.
Wednesday of the month?
Yes.
Okay.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock at the
in
community center. Okay, great, wonderful. What other kinds of things do you talk about in your meetings? What sorts of things do you address?
Well, like I said, the safety lights that we had put up, we had to make a CPC filing to get the money, because these things aren't cheap. And we've had 3 of them so far that we've put up, and there's more locations that we want to have. That takes quite a bit of work. The maintenance. Every other year since I joined, we were doing a bicycle rodeo for the elementary school. And we'd pick a Saturday. One year we had it at the elementary school parking lot. Previously, I think the last 3 that we've had have been here at the community center. We take half of the parking, and we have little obstacles that they have to go through. And how do you ride a bicycle? What do you do in traffic? What's a stop sign for? How to negotiate rocks that happen to be on the rail trail. We also have a turtle race where the children would race against a police officer on a bicycle, and the last one to finish wins. You can't put your feet down. So it gives you coordination on how to run a bike slowly, how to pass on the rail trail. We've had hot dogs. We give away T-shirts. Ice cream cones were donated from Dairy Queen the last time. So it's a big thing. And it's rain or shine. Occasionally being here on the Cape, you know, we had one year it poured, but we had people that showed up.
Sounds like a really fun event.
I think...
And also really important for the kids for their skill building and just awareness.
Yes, and it goes along with the mass bike and their safe routes to school. In the future, we're hoping that the Harwich and the Chatham Police Department will take this over. It's pretty big. Sometimes we need up to 25 people to help because all of these little trails that they have to go down, obstacles, take 2 or 3 people. We also have a bike inspection when they come. So they adjust the chains, the pressure in the tires, and that's all from the Dennis bike shop on Great Western Road. He's a resident of Harwich, and he sends somebody over and they go through the bikes. We adjust helmets. If the helmets don't fit right, we give them a helmet. That's provided by the Qantas, which is a thing they do throughout the Cape.
So again, lots of cooperation from friendly businesses and other departments and volunteers.
Yes.
I imagine. Lots and lots of volunteers.
Volunteers are very important.
Yes, and there seem to be a lot of them on the Cape, which is great. So one thing that I have noticed in my riding on the bike trails is that, and also in my driving in a car on the road, is that many people still do not have it quite straight what to do when they get to a road, bicyclists, that is. And so I would imagine that is something that you would need to be informing the students, the children, about pretty rigorously, about
Exactly.
the fact that they need to get off of their bicycles as opposed to riding across or expecting the cars to stop for them.
Exactly. The bicycle, if you're on a bicycle, the rules of the road apply to you as a motor vehicle. However, when you step off your bicycle, you're a pedestrian. Mm-hmm. You have the right of way. I wouldn't just stroll out into the road, but
Right.
the cars are required to stop.
Right.
And
It's
let you
all,
cross.
yeah, it's all very logical. The thing is that as a driver, a car driver, if bicyclists continue on, I think car drivers get confused about what the rule is.
Right.
And so they stop, and then that sometimes gives bicyclists the idea that that's an okay thing to do. So it's a building issue, isn't it?
It's a big education thing.
Yeah,
that
it is.
It's not only the children, but the adults as well. Especially in the summer when J1s come from different countries. If you've ever been to Amsterdam, you see thousands of bicycles, hundreds of people and cars, all intermingled with no problem. But here in the United States, I think the driver thinks it's their road.
They reign supreme.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, the Bikeways Committee is a wonderful sounding committee, and
Thank
I
you.
do hope that some people will take advantage of coming to a meeting at least, and possibly even wanting to volunteer. Does one need to be a Harwich resident in order to do that?
Yes, you have to be a Harwich resident.
Okay.
You don't have to be a year-round resident, although we meet year-round. Occasionally in the summer, we have to have a quorum to have a meeting. So if we don't have enough of people because they're on vacation somewhere, or some people may go to Florida, that meeting would be canceled. I've only had that a couple of times in my 7 years that we've canceled the
Okay.
meeting. The other thing that we've done, I wanted to mention that we created some bike routes that are on regular streets instead of just the rail trail. We encourage people to go through Harwich and go through Harwich Center, try the beaches. There is a map that's online if you go to the town.
It's actually up right now, I think.
That's the one.
Yeah.
The Transit Authority donated signs to us. They asked us where we wanted them. And so we put signs up on streets that we thought were advantageous for bicyclists. You could get to Red River Beach or Earl Beach, Bank Street, of course, all through Harwich Port and Harwich Center up to as far as Long Pond.
Where can people access that map?
That's on the Harwich website. If you go to the bike committees, you go to the town's committees, then the bikeways, and it will be on that page in, I believe, the upper left-hand corner. You can click on it. In the future, we'd like to put QR codes at different sections of the bike trail so that you could take your smartphone and scan the QR code and it would bring the map up. So it's a future project.
Moving forward technologically.
High tech.
Yep, okay. Well, thank you so much, Dennis. I appreciate your coming and hope that people will check out the Bikeways Committee.
Thank you.